Hey everybody, Meg Ruler 31 back here for FSI DFS. Hope everybody had a good weekend. My first weekend in NFL football was horrible. Couldn't hit on DFS. My college team lost. My pro team lost. All three of my fantasy teams lost. This week, it looks like my fantasy team's going to win. Made some money in DFS. Ravens had an amazing comeback last night, and Syracuse won too, but they played a high school team, so they should have anyways. But now we're looking at baseball. Got a couple of weeks left, and it looks like some of the prize pools are going down. The focus is coming off. So it's a great time to continue to grind away and make some money. So nice slate here. We got 8 games, actually 2, 4, 6, 7 games. It doesn't look like any weather issues. So should be good. So let's just run through this and break it down. First game, we have the New York Yankees and the Texas Rangers. We have AJ Alexy and Cortez. Alexy had a first couple good starts and then kind of fell apart. So I'm not interested in him there. Cortez, I think, is a decent medium range pitcher. He has had a little struggles, but I think against Texas, there's definitely some K upside, and he's going to be able to go out there and have a good game. So I think out of medium range pitchers, he'd be my second favorite of the day. I think the Yankees total is a little bit high at 5.4. Alexy's is a younger pitcher, but they've been struggling, the Yankees, recently. So could they break out? Yes, but I'd like some other offenses better. So I'd put them as third for a cash stack today. Next game, we have the Baltimore Orioles at the Philadelphia Phillies. We have John Means and Ranger Suarez. I think both pitchers make a case for cheap. I mean, Means has had a good season. There are some righties here that hit lefty as well on Philly, like McCutcheon and Realmuto and Segura. So a little bit risky, so more of a GPP player. But on the other side, Ranger Suarez, I think, against, even though this Baltimore offense does have some right-handed power, I think I really like him here. Got some K upside. Park upgrade for him too versus pitching in Baltimore, I think. So definitely going to have a lot of him as my SP2 today. But Means, I think, if you want to sprinkle in as a pivot off of them in GPPs for a lower price pitcher, is definitely okay. If you want to take some bats on either side, Baltimore side, I think is more of a leverage play. If you want to stack the righties there, if you want to stack some of the righties in Philly in a tournament, I think that's decent there. Galvis might be leading off at 3.6, a little bit higher than he had been priced previously. Segura, Realmuto, McCutcheon, even if you want to throw in Harper in that stack there, once they get to the bullpen, I think they're, kind of splits neutral. So that's perfectly fine. Next up, we have the Toronto Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay battle for the AL East here. Tampa's lost a couple games. Toronto, Boston, and Yankees are chasing them. They're all fighting for the wild card. So very important. We have Robbie Ray here against Shane Baez making his Major League debut. Like Robbie Ray here, I think he's going to be a favorite SP1. He just faced Tampa Bay, which, the familiarity factors there, but I'm not too scared of that. And Tampa Bay has really solidified their right-handed lineup against left-handed pitching, but not really worried about that. It's definitely a decent park to pitch in here. Ray just had 13 Ks against them. He's had over 10 Ks in multiple starts recently. On fire, AL Cy Young in the picture for that. So definitely give me some Robbie Ray here today. Baez on the other side, I think, is interesting, maybe in a YOLO or in a GPP play. We're going to take Ranger Suarez for 400 less. Toronto is a very good lineup, but this guy has been decent in AAA. He does face a Toronto lineup, like I said, that is pretty powerful, but they have had some bad games. So I think, if you're trying to catch lightning in a bottle, it's worth a shot. I wouldn't go too much in ownership with him. Maybe sprinkle him in some mass multi-entry there. Blue Jays, kind of out on them as a stack again, not knowing this pitcher. Champe's got really good bullpen. It's a pitcher's park. So I think you could play them in cash, but they'd probably be my fourth stack, maybe even fall to the GPP side of things. Tampa Bay on the other side, I think only it's a leverage stack if you think something weird happens and Ray doesn't do well, or if he gets scratched. Other than that, I think I'm out on them tonight. Next up, we have the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers. St. Louis is on fire. I believe they've won 8 straight games, and Milwaukee is still way ahead in the division, kind of on cruise control here. Jake Woodford is probably the second worst pitcher on the slate. Freddie Peralta comes in at 9.2. It's a great price. He's even better on FanDuel, but I don't know. I think I'm out on him. He was cruising along about 20, 30 points a game, and then he hit St. Louis twice on August 18th and September 3rd, and he just really couldn't make it out of like the first couple of innings. Gave up 3 runs and 4 runs, not too many Ks, some home runs. So, and St. Louis is surging. So I'm out on Peralta here. I think, he definitely on FanDuel is cheap. I think he's a good GPP play. If you suspect that those were just outliers and that he'll be fine here. But St. Louis is really, like I said, surging, put it together, scoring some runs here. So I like stacking. And when I go through breakdowns, I'm actually going to give you a GPP if you hang on to the end of the video. I really like stacking this game here for St. Louis and Milwaukee with the pitching situation. Next, we have Houston and the Los Angeles Angels. Houston has Fremo Valdez here. I think he's a nice pivot off of Ray, saves you some money against an Angels team that's not super scary. You have like Otani and March as left, and Walsh is lefty batters, lefty and lefty, so he has a split advantage there, and the righties aren't super scary at all. And then you have Berea just filling in as a lineup spot. He's probably the worst pitcher on the slate, so Houston is probably the number one stack for the night there if you can fit them in. Kyle Tucker is questionable, so I have to see if he actually plays or not. If he doesn't, that could open up the outfield to another cheap, McCormick, Myers, Siri. So definitely some value for Houston that could open up there. Angels bats, just a leverage stack, not super interested there. Next up, we have the Seattle Mariners and the Oakland Athletics. We have Tyler Anderson facing Sean Manaea. Anderson, I think, is okay as a medium range pitcher if you're just sprinkling some different pitchers in there. I definitely would like Manaea on the other side much better in the medium range, or Cortez. I'm not saying Anderson you can completely roll out, although the Athletics can throw out a pretty heavy right-handed lineup against him. Manaea on the other side, I think, if you want to pay up for SP2 over Suarez, I think he's definitely the place to go here. Seattle has a 3.48 implied run total. I think he's really good against left-handed, which is most of the power on this team. And I don't really fear the righties against him. If you want to play Seattle as a leverage stack and a YOLO $1, I'm fine, but I'm pretty much going to fade their bats. And Oakland, I think they make a good GPP stack. I think Anderson's a decent pitcher, but most of them are going to have the split advantage against him. So it's something to possibly consider. I'm not going definitely too heavy in on either one of them tonight. I think there's so many other great places to play, but if you're playing a late night slate or you're looking for a stack that might not have too high ownership, then I think Oakland is definitely in play there. Finally, we have the Atlanta Braves and the Arizona Diamondbacks. We have Unola against Maeja. I'm not sure if the roof's going to be open or not, but the Braves have a nice total. Unola, I think, especially on FanDuel, he's really cheap also. Again, but on DK, I think I'd rather play Ray, and then if I'm like trying to save, or do like Manaea, Cortez, Suarez, so he's kind of no man's land and pricing at 9.1 here. I think I'd rather take Valdez at 9.5 over him also, but if you're trying to be a little contrarian, I think the play makes sense against Arizona. Arizona would be my favorite cheap stack of the night against him if you're looking for some pieces there. But the Braves, I definitely think, are my second favorite stack against Houston, to make sure that against Maya here, he's definitely some good plays there. Again, they're pretty deep, so you just have to. So you have to see who plays outfield and catcher for them, or if they're going to rotate some players in and out of the lineup, maybe find some value there. So May, I'm not very interested in. He's definitely a fade. So let's look at some lineup construction and get you on the way for the week. Okay, bringing up DK quick here. We're going to put Robbie Ray in, like we said, and really like Suarez at SB2. And then I'm just going to fill in with Atlanta and Houston. So it's up to you, like which one you want to go heavier on. Definitely Freeman first base, and you're going to have to decide on Altuve or Elbase at second. I think I'll go ABs just for the savings. Put in Alvarez there, probably create. Then between these two guys are pretty much the same price. If you're looking there for third base, catcher, I'll probably punt. And then for outfield, probably go Soler there. And then you're going to fill in with a value play here, maybe Maldonado for catcher. That works there. It works out really well if you want to go a little bit Houston, heavy Maldonado, and if you go up to Altuve's here, if you get rid of Soler, then if like Peterson or like Herrera or one of those like cheaper guys is in the lineup, that works out really well for that. And then finally, just do the St. Louis Milwaukee GPP for you. For pitchers there, I'm going to look at taking Manera and Cortez as my pitchers. And then stacking this game, St. Louis, Milwaukee. I'm definitely taking Goldsmith and Arenado there. And then you just have to figure out who you want for some of the rest of players. Second base is going to be Edmonds or Wong. I'll just put Wong because he's cheaper. Shortstop, Adames, it says IL, but he should be returning. If he is, he's a great value who really makes this work. If not, I'd probably punt. I wouldn't take the St. Louis one there at that point. And then I just should figure out who you want for outfield at that point. There's a lot of great options there. So